David Menzies for the Rebel News here in downtown Toronto. Well, I'm standing outside the premises of CAMH, that's the Centre for Addiction and Mental Health. And this institution is in the news, folks, because CAMH says it will indeed follow all 12 recommendations of an external panel that, well, basically make it a lot more inconvenient for violent and dangerous offenders to simply walk off the premises scot-free. Now, this year, CAMH was plagued by a series of such incidents. The most recent high-profile one was what occurred in July, and that was Zayden Kong, who simply, without permission or authorization, walked off the grounds here at CAMH. And it was of great concern because, you see, Mr. Kong was incarcerated here, if that's what you can call it, because he took a meat cleaver to his roommate and literally butchered him to death. What made matters even worse was the fact that CAMH didn't inform the police of Mr. Kong's disappearance until 11 days later. By that time, it was too little too late, because Mr. Kong evidently boarded a plane to China. He somehow got on that flight, and he remains at large to this day. Now, once these details of the Kong affair became public, there was incredible public outrage. Indeed, even the Premier of Ontario, Doug Ford, he vented on radio station CFRB 1010. Here's what the Premier had to say about what happened.
If they're calling this low risk, what is high risk? What is the family thinking of the poor victim that got chopped up with a meat cleaver by this nutcase, and then they let him loose out on the streets? How did he get a passport to go to China? Like, this is absolutely ridiculous.
Of course, I think the Premier was speaking for all reasonable-minded Ontarians when he said what he said. But of course, the usual suspects and many media types condemned the Premier. Evidently, it is a greater sin to, make a personal insult about somebody's mental health, even if that person happens to be someone who butchered their roommate to death with a meat cleaver. But in any event, this panel issued its report the other day, and CAMH is going to go along with those recommendations. Now, I did try to reach out to the CEO of CAMH here, that's Dr. Catherine Zen, and she was not available, and nor was there anyone available in the public relations team to come on camera. But in any event, I can tell you what a couple of those recommendations are. I would call them actual common sense more than recommendations. One is that CAMH should have a fenced-in outdoor area. It's almost hard to believe, folks, that this hasn't been implemented, especially with the millions of dollars of renovations going on to the CAMH facility. But yeah, I know it's very politically incorrect in this day and age of Trump to support fences and walls, but guess what? They do work. And another recommendation that CAMH says it will be following is that it shall inform police in a more timely fashion when a dangerous offender leaves the premises. I should think so. It was disgraceful this wasn't being embraced in the first place, ostensibly because CAMH was more concerned about the patient's privacy rights than the safety of the general public. But even though these are steps in the right direction, one has to wonder if even the people on the external panel had their priorities in order when it comes to the public at large. For example, the report states the following: the goal is to ensure timely and safe return of patients to CAMH. Well, with all due respect, shouldn't the goal be a dedication to public safety? Now, I get it. So many of the people that reside here are here because they couldn't control their actions because of mental illness. Yet, at the end of the day, surely public safety comes first, and not a beholding to political correctness and fear of offending those who have committed violent actions in the past. For the Rebel News, I'm David the Menzoid Menzies. Hey folks, if you like the kind of reporting we do here at The Rebel, why not become a premium content subscriber? Simply go to premium.rebelnews.com, sign up, and never miss another Rebel video.